I'm Sam. Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna just get right into it. I want to talk about things that a lot of a lot of things that like some of the spiritual community gets wrong, or that like different parts of the community get wrong. I like to find the best information I can. Like, I want to make sure it's as true and accurate as possible, which is kind of hard to do when a lot of it is in the metaphysics area. And, you know what I mean? Like, it's stuff that we can't see, which is 99.9% of all reality, by the way. Uh, so it's hard to, measure things if you can't detect them with your senses. Um, so therefore it's harder to find the truth about such things. But like, I wanted to talk about ascension symptoms. Because a lot of people are going through them, and if you're not sure what I mean or what I'm talking about, a lot of people are going through consciousness upgrades, right? And so like, we're making the shift from 3D reality, which is you work like with physical, like you physically work to make physical things happen, which is the least efficient way to do things. And we're going into a higher consciousness, 4D, 5D, that kind of thing, if you've heard that. And what that means is we're learning that reality is a lot less solid than we've been led to believe. And so one of the ascension symptoms that I get most often is being tired. And that showed a lot in my last video, and I apologize for that. I probably shouldn't have even uploaded it because I just felt like I was so tired. I'm like, why am I even... I don't know. But anyway, so my sleep has been really weird lately, where I'm like sleep all night, sleep all day, up all night, up all day. And I've been doing that rhythm for a while, and it's weird as heck, and I don't like it. Like, I'm trying to get into a better habit, better rhythm. I'm not sure if it's going to happen anytime soon. I feel like I've been working on that for years, but I feel like it's also part of ADHD, and so that doesn't help. But that's just like another layer to things. But back to the thing, I don't really want to talk about ascension like, oh, I'm ascending, so therefore I'm better than you, because I don't believe that at all. And I feel like just talking about it makes me feel like I'm speaking from ego. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about, is the term ego. A lot of people think it like it's a synonym for like pride, or like self-esteem, or that kind of thing. It's a psychological term. You have there. If I'm looking at the definitions here, there's the id, the ego, and the superego, right? The id is more primitive desires and stuff, and the superego is moral constraints, according to this Google definition, whatever. But basically, the ego is not just your sense of pride, it's your sense of self. That's the psychological meaning of ego. And so a lot of people are saying that you need to kill your ego, and that's not right at all, because your ego is an essential part of being a human being. It is your sense of I. So, like, if you don't have that, I mean, it's definitely good to separate your ego, like separate from your ego from time to time, so that you can like check yourself, check yourself before you wreck yourself type thing. Like, make sure you're not just doing things because because of your ego, because of that's how it's always been done, because this is how my ego sees things. You want to make sure you're doing things because it's the right thing. And I guess that would be like what you would call the superego in psychology. But I'm really going like with higher consciousness, your higher mind, which is like another part of yourself. I feel like there's so much I want to explain, but like I don't know. Like I should organize it better instead of just like talking about one thing and then going off on a tangent about the definition of everything along the way. You know what I mean? But anyway. So when I talk about ascension symptoms, I'm not trying to sound like I'm ascending, I'm better than everyone else below me. No, because it's not a hierarchy thing. It sounds hierarchical because it's literally higher, is like literally the word that you're using. But it's not higher, it's just at a different dimension. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, is that there is I was just gonna say something like, okay, I have it written down here a little bit, that I wanted you to know that spirit is never urgent. We have all of the time in eternity because we are eternal beings. Your body is absolutely not eternal. It is absolutely mortal. This is the only time you will ever be this person. This is the only time this person will ever exist. But your spirit, your soul, exists forever. This is just one expression of it. Don't step on buttons. Don't step on buttons, kitty cat. I know. Well, if you know. Quit it. Anyway, so yeah, don't be fooled because spirit is never urgent. So if you ever see like messages and videos online, ooh, spirit says you need to hear this now, I feel like that's just a tactic to get you to click on the video. And maybe, it is something you need to hear, and maybe using that kind of urgent language is a good thing if it gets you to click on a message you needed to hear. But I also just feel like that's, it's just a grab. It's just an attention grab. And I don't want to ever do that. So I'm never going to say, oh, you needed to hear this right now. Like when this video finds you, it'll only find you once and then never again. I hate seeing those titles. I'm like, okay. And if it doesn't find me again, then I guess I didn't need it. Because we are eternal beings in spirit, and nothing that is meant for you will ever miss you. If you're having a hard time in this life and you're not following your intuition or your higher mind, it might take a lot longer to get to you, but it doesn't mean it will never get to you. It just might not get to you in this lifetime. It depends on what the thing is. And again, I don't want to act like I know everything, because I definitely don't. I'm just, passing along the things that I have learned that I feel to be true. And again, you need to feel truth for yourself, because there's we've been lied to for so many generations that it's like you need to not just worry about the sources where you're finding information, but feel it within you. And does that sound right to you? Does it sound like, oh yeah, that's definitely got to be right? But anyway. So that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, is that nothing meant for you will ever miss you. And that all of our paths are different. So if you're not ascending in this lifetime, that's okay. It's just a different journey that you're on. And so it's like no journey is less than anyone else's. So like people who are getting into their higher consciousness in this lifetime, there's a lot of people who are, but that doesn't make any of them better than anyone else. It's just a different path that they're on. And if you believe yourself to be on that path, then maybe you're in the right place here. I believe that I'm at least expanding, my consciousness from where I started. So I don't know like everything. I know there's a lot I still have to work on, especially physically, because I feel like there's a lot that I'm doing wrong physically with as regards to like my health and stuff. I feel like I'm not taking care of my body very well, because of the lifelong habits that I've had and that are like super hard to, oh, that's the other thing. Nothing is ever hard. It's either familiar or unfamiliar. So it's unfamiliar to me. That feels better. It's unfamiliar to me to be in better habits. It doesn't make it impossible. It just means I need a lot more practice. I need practice in better habits, better... I guess that's all I'm going to say about that right now. But anyway... So I kind of wanted to draw a card and see what comes up. And today we're going with Beyond Lemuria Oracle Cards by Izzy Ivy. And she like painted all of these things and then made them into cards, and they're really pretty. So they're also really big cards, so it's like hard to shuffle. So, and they're the kind that kind of stick to each other and clump together like some of these Oracle decks do. Which I guess, they're higher quality, I think, because of that, but... Okay, so the card we have is Water, the Overflow. So pretty, right? 12 maybe might be significant for somebody. I don't know. Let's see what the book says about it. And I don't know the symbols. I think... Oh, that's probably the symbol for water, since it's the card for water. But I don't know what those symbols are called. Have you seen them, like the little triangles, like they're in different places, different positions that represent the different elements: fire, air, earth, water? I don't know what those symbols are called, and I don't remember what symbol looks like what for the elements. But anyway, so according to the book, water, the overflow, abundance, non-attachment, the paradigm of no scarcity, allowing financial and energetic gifts to flow through and create more. I swear, every time I pull a card, I'm like, this is definitely a message for me. So maybe it resonates with someone else too. I don't know. Okay. So themes: allowing for flow, receptivity, the path of least resistance, purity, clearing away that which no longer serves, emotion. So yeah, water is definitely emotion because emotions flow. It's very pretty. She's got the moon above her and these beautiful flowers down here. These beautiful flowers all over the card. Because water helps things grow. The being in the picture has many hands, and yet still the water is allowed to fall through her fingers. It blesses her in the moments it touches her radiant skin, and then continues on its journey. Her heart is also overflowing with love. Her eyes are filled with tears. She allows what comes through to move her without control. She gracefully allows whatever she is feeling to be expressed, and as she does so, she radiates so much light into the world. Yeah, that's the other thing I was talking about with separating from your ego. It helps you to... Oh, what was I just going to say? Like, it just helps you get out of your own way. You know what I mean? Like, themes allowing for flow, receptivity, the path of least resistance. Your life is supposed to feel good. And you're supposed to give control over to your higher mind. I forget the way it's said, but Bashar always says something about your higher mind conceives, your physical mind perceives, something like that. That your physical mind is more like a diving mask, and your higher mind can see a lot more than you can. Gosh, I don't know. I feel like I'm butchering it. So I'm going to just take another card here. Because I feel like I'm not saying it right, so I better just stop trying to say it. Harmonic Flight. 29. Really pretty. Let's see what that says. 29. Seeing the divine in the eyes of another, relationships with deep bonds, karmic connection, clearing illusory projections, life-changing connection, transmuting dissonance, removing heart armor, being seen, and teamwork. There's a lot more written about this card. Like 2.5 pages. So I won't read all of it, but let's just go with... The powerful image represents the divine we see when we look deeply into the eyes of another and our armor drops. When we meet another being present in the moment with no stories, judgments, or insecurities. I felt a little overwhelmed and intimidated when I painted this card. I wasn't quite ready or didn't fully fathom the message. Then, some months later, I experienced it when I was looking into the eyes of my beloved. Shortly after, I encountered the divine in the eyes of a stranger, when space was held for this surrendered openness. And that kind of goes with something I also heard in a video. It was more of a psychological video and not spiritual. That it takes at least 3 months to get to know another person when you're in a relationship. Because in the first 3 months, you're not actually getting to know them. You're getting to know the way they see you. You guys are mirroring each other. So you are not necessarily immediately in love with the other person. You're in love with the way that they see you. And it works both ways. And so it takes at least 3 months to start to get to know the actual person and not just what you're seeing of yourself in them. So they kind of remind me of fire and water. So yeah, and that's I don't really know if there's much more to say about that. Harmonic flight. To truly see another person for who they are, it's not always an easy thing, because we all are mirrors for each other. And so it's not only kind of difficult to see someone for who they are, it's even more rare to see someone for who they are and love that. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, if you see a flower and you really love a flower, you won't pluck it, you know, but everyone jumps into relationships so quickly, it's like we're all just trying to pluck the flowers. Oh, I love this flower. I gotta have it. Pluck. But to truly love a flower, you let it exist as it is and you help it to grow. And that's the other thing, is that we're here to help each other grow, you know? If we can. I mean, you can only really help a person to the extent that they're willing to receive the help. But, anyway, I'm going to try not to make this video too much longer, so that's all I'm going to say tonight. All right, see you next time.